Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that, Paulvin. So before we go ahead, we are right now live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn for the first time. I'm just giving this introduction in case people are wondering what the context is and some random guy is talking something. But I'm not sharing the video, your individual videos here. They'll be just seeing my boring face, but they'll hear everyone's voice. I just wanted to give an intro on it. So welcome to another online catch up. I think we have a quite a good number here. I mean, I'm sorry, a lot of people joined in the last 5 minutes. I didn't keep track of it. So I think there are few newcomers as well. I think Ajit, Ashok, Lucky, Nidhi, these are the new people. So welcome to the party. Because you're new here, there are a few rules over here. I'm not reinforcing the rules, but just FYI, try to keep your video on. The reason that I say is, at least till the foreseeable future, everything is online, interviews, coffee catch-ups, meetings, and anything, anything of that sort will be online. So please try to keep your video on. This is a good practice for you, and it's a good test of your technology if it works all right as well. And as I always say, it doesn't. No one cares if you're dressed or not. So this is a platform, just show off, and no one is going to see you. Only this close group is going to see you. So that was just an FYI. So yeah, so how has it been? I mean, I'll just, the first few minutes we'll go ahead and not introduce yourself, just, briefly go on what's happening. Paulvin started, kicked it off and shared, how things are changing for him. So what's been happening in the past few days? I mean, it's been a week since we caught up last time. Just curious to hear, what's been happening in the last few days. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm. Brilliant. Good to see a lot of progress happening. Thanks for sharing that, Srikant. How's it? Welcome again. I think Prerna joined recently. Thanks for making it finally, Prerna. Hi. You're on mute, so we can't hear. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for joining. So what's been happening? So yeah, welcome back to the networking world. I'm glad that I'm pulling people. I successfully pulled in Srishti and Prerna. So next I tried pulling in Varsha and someone, but they don't care. So that's a different topic. Let's put it over there. So what's yeah, yeah. So what's been happening? What about the others? How has things been the last couple of weeks? Not last couple of weeks, last few days. Oh yeah, I saw it. I'm seeing a lot of attention on it. So those of you who didn't see Srishti's post, she posted on how she had an inhibition on doing online chats, and then she had a couple of chats with Elaine, who has been part of this catch up in the past, and now everyone is asking her, can we catch up? Can we catch up? Can we catch up? So I think you have a big queue right now. Yeah, good for you. So oh, okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that's absolutely good. So Wasim, I think you mentioned others can't hear you. Thanks for sharing that. I think I screwed up something. I'll bring it back now. So, sorry? Hello? Hello? Is, yeah, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Have a conversation. Let me try to fix that. In the meantime, share stories on what's happening out there and how things have been going. No one wants to share now?
As relating to Agile and Scrum related stuffs.
Mhm.
3 I have put, and I'm ready with the other 2 for this week. So
Yeah.
possibly I'll put this. I mean, put this post this week also.
Mhm.
Yeah, sorry,
So,
I
Manoj, I
think
interrupted you.
so I think if anyone had issues on LinkedIn with the audio, others not listening to the audio, I think I fixed that. Wasim, keep an eye on it and let me know if it's not
But
fixed.
your voice
Vinesh,
is breaking now.
your
My
voice is
voice is breaking.
echoing. Yeah, your voice
Yes,
was echoing.
yes, there's
Uh,
something wrong, I guess. Maybe it's bandwidth, maybe.
is it echoing
You had been
because?
preparing
Mm,
something over the weekend then.
Sorry, is it okay now?
no, it's like a bit beer. Your voice is a bit harsh.
Hmm, okay. Anyway, go ahead. Let's continue this conversation. Let's not,
Yeah.
if I'm not audible at all, then let's see if I can do something.
Yeah, now it is fine.
now it is
Okay.
fine. It's okay now.
So then it's technology. It's not my fault. Yeah. So let's go back. Thanks for sharing your stories, Srishti, Paulvin, Shrikant, and who else shared their stories? I think someone else shared their stories. Thanks for sharing their stories. Now let's play the game that we always play, and people who have been here know what it is. So
S-
this is kind of trying to gamify, what's happening over here. um, Videos. Everyone are new to video, so we are trying to rate who has the best video and who looks best among the 20 people who are here.
You should have put this as a part of your meetup. I mean, with the come
It's
on.
a
You can't
casual
just
competition. It's a casual competition. It's a learning curve to share a lot of inputs on how you can improve this. People who have been here often, I think Paulvin, Wasim, and Srikant, they've been there. They played this game in the past and they've made their videos look better. See, Srikant is blooming her hair right now. So,
He's the
yeah,
best
so
now.
people are prepared for it. So just put it in the chat. Who you think has the best video out here. Others. Lucky, Ashok, feel free to turn our videos. We'd love to see you and have a better connection. Yeah, Paulvin, bringing a light closer won't work out.
Ajit has a very good background, even though there are no books as such, but that photograph is good.
Yeah. So Lucky mentioned that she's having technical issues. So this is actually a part of that. It's for you to be comfortable, and make sure that the tech is working. For example, I'm getting a voice from someone. I'm not sure. I think someone's audio isn't working good. I don't know whoever it is. So make sure your headphones are working well. Some headphones you think they work good, but when you join a call, it just makes a lot of noise, or the other person can't hear you properly. So this is kind of a platform for you to test and make sure those things work well, right? So yeah, that was a live lesson by Lucky. So today it's Lucky's chance, not yours, Paulvin.
Lucky's not lucky today.
Yeah.
My audio is working fine, but yeah, I'm having issues with video.
Yeah, there you go. I
it's
mean, if
probably-
you had an interview, your video is not working, you're screwed, right? So just
Yeah,
a live lesson.
that's it.
Yeah. So I think Paulvin gets the good votes, except Srikant says you have a good aura behind you. But otherwise, Paulvin looks good. Prerna says Vinesh. everyone else voted me out because they think I have an advantage. But keep in mind, I used to have a blank background. Today I added couple of things, so I think I should be eligible to win.
You have
That's
a
wishful thinking.
Sorry. Yeah, so I think Paulvin wins today as well. I think he has an advantage that his background is really good, except that the light behind him is really bad. I'll just touch on a few points on what is important while you do videos, be it interviews, meetings, meetups, or whatever it is. A few things is, the first thing is your camera angle. Look at Gautam. You're looking up his nose. Gautam is the third person here if you want to. Yeah, he changed his angle. Come on. Right? So that's not a good angle. That's like you're literally looking up a person while having a one-on-one conversation, right? The other thing is bad as well. If you're too high, you're looking down on someone. And that could mean that, or what Shika is doing, your finger comes on the camera and, you feel distracted. Or if your camera angle is too high, you're looking down on someone and you could be portrayed as a dominant character over there. So that's not good either, right? So Gautam's was a good example over there. And I don't think anyone is looking down. So I don't have an example over there. Lighting is very important. Look at Paulvin. He has a bright light behind him and his beautiful face is not visible because of that, right? On the other hand, Sanchit here, for example, there's too much light.
Yeah,
Prerna,
sun.
Yeah,
sun
that's all right. I mean,
yeah.
just giving an example. Prerna has good light. I mean, we can see her face clearly. Whatever her face features. If she smiles, we can see that, right? So lighting is very important. Don't have any bright light behind you. Don't have too bright light in front of you. Make sure the sun, diffuser. I mean, it's not too bright. For example, if I dim my light, I'd look like this, which is not great. So instead, if I do this, it's completely different complexion. So that's camera angle, lighting. Background, you've already seen how important it is. Background is probably the only reason Paulvin won the game today. So background is important. A plain background, while it's okay, it's kind of boring. For example, if you look at Sanchit's background, it's plain and it's kind of boring. There is no value to it. And if you had watched my previous videos, I used to have a plain background and just putting a pot, the TV over there kind of completely changed the setting that I am in, right? So that's very important as well, the background. What else? Phone. If you're doing a formal catch-up, like an interview or a proper meetup, do not use phone. Yeah, just what Prerna showed there. Her phone fell down. That can happen. You don't want that to happen. Or you don't want your phone to be shaky. If you're using your phone, have a stand and make sure it's placed firmly over there. Otherwise, it can cause huge distraction. So you don't want to do that as well. So that's important as well. What else? What others? I mean, regulars. Did I miss something over here?
No, I think it's all good.
That's it. Yeah.
If
So
it's
it's
a
important.
group call, I think the rest of the people who are not talking should be on mute. Otherwise, there will be a lot of echo.
Absolutely. That's a good point as well. If it's a group call, your default mode should be mute. Say, for example, I think if you're doing a Zoom call, you can mute it, and if you hit the space bar, you'll unmute, and if you remove the space bar, it'll go back to mute as well. So there are features like that can help, make a better experience over here.
Vinesh, can I also make a suggestion?
Go for it, Mercia.
So I would also recommend maybe do like a test run with a family member or a friend or whoever to check that your mic is working, and that your video is working properly. So when you've got that interview opportunity, that it's all set, you're ready.
Yeah,
absolutely. Do a practice run.
Yeah, a practice is very important. For example, I always I'm seeing everyone laughing, and I was wondering why everyone is laughing. But then Naisha did his thing, and he put a joke in the comment. And I totally get that. So you can read that and laugh on it. That's the reason. I was distracted. I was like, why is everyone laughing suddenly, right? So yeah, it's very important to check that your phone works. For example, if the meeting is on Zoom or Meet or whatever the software is in place, your camera works, your camera angle. I mean, just do a trial run. Bug your friend, whoever that is, and have a conversation with that person so that you're confident on what's happening over there. Yeah, so those were good points. I think that's that about it. So newcomers, the way this works is I announced this meetup in this event on Meetup, and I have a Google form in the Google form link in the description. So you are welcome to add questions over there, and I usually pick up a couple of questions and have discussions around it. That's what I do normally, but today I have no questions. I think everyone. No one has a question, so they did not ask a question. I think so. That's the reason I'm just having casual conversations, and I will let you drive this meeting rather than me driving the meeting. So if you'd like to have a conversation on anything, please bring up the question or
hi,
put it on the
Vinesh.
chat. Hi Ashok, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm just wondering, like, what kind of questions is it technical, or is it how to find jobs, or what kind of questions usually get it here?
I usually say anything. Technical, if you ask something very complicated, I may or may not be able to answer, or I might redirect the question to someone else in case they have an answer. But the idea is just put your questions there, and I can pick up a couple of questions. Usually we talk about stuff revolving around job search, how to do things, how to approach job search and stuff like that. But if it's technical as well, you can put in there. I'm sure there will be someone in this group who knows
That's
something,
cool.
or
I mean, like,
who you
I'm
can
new,
refer
that's why
you
I'm
to
just
something.
wondering.
Yeah, absolutely fine. That was a good question, because I mean, sometimes the objective of this catch up is not clear. It's in general, it's just to come and have a 30-minute chat and go, just as an icebreaker session to have fun. Plus, what I see here is, a lot of relationships building as well. For example, in this group, Paulvin, Maladi, Srikant, Suchi, Wasim, they've been regular. Gautam, they've been regulars in this group, and they're kind of building a cult of their own, if I may say, and having fun in their own group. So that's also an objective of this group, to make sure that you're not going alone in this journey, which is something that is very easy to do. And, yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Any questions?
I'd like to say something.
Go ahead, Maldi.
Something interesting which I did in the last few days.
Yeah.
So I had been raising this, issue. It was quite frustrating that whenever somebody connect to me, they don't put a note. I'm still frustrated about that.
Yeah.
But last few days, what I did was, whenever somebody connects with me, instead of just accepting it and leave it, I give a short introduction about me, and then put up a question which might be related to what they are doing, their current project, or their role, or some tagline on their profile. So some of them doesn't come back at all, but there are some set of people who replies. They'll just start as usual. I'm senior test engineer. I work in so-and-so company. So I dig deep. I keep on asking what they do exactly. What is their current project? What is the challenges? And last few days, I chatted with 4 people. Some of them got scared. What am I asking? Why am I digging deep?
Yeah.
They would have thought you are a hiring manager.
Yeah. Maybe secret agency.
Some of the topics were quite new to me. Even then I was asking questions. But towards the end of the session, they were quite happy that I initiated the chat. They were able to express what they knew.
Yeah.
And in turn, I learned few new technologies which I was not aware of. And also I was also learning some other skill to ask the right questions. If you are with a client working in a project, you don't know anything about the project. Still, you have to ask questions as a tester. I mean, in my case, you should know what you are asking. Sensible questions so that you get the answers to clarify your project, what you're going to do. So it was multifold for me. One thing, I was putting out my frustration, but I got back something good.
Absolutely.
So probably everyone can start doing that.
Thanks for sharing that story, Maldi. That's something very important, I talk to a lot of people, and some people, the common advice that people ask me to give to people is, whenever they send a LinkedIn connection request, add a note to it. If there is no note, there is no context, and most of the people do not respond to it. And then the next input that I get is, once yes, a person accepted your connection request, then if you have sent the request, initiate a conversation. Otherwise, it's just like giving your hand for a handshake and then just having a handshake and talking nothing and not saying hi, how are you, right? And that's an awkward experience too. So it's very important that you initiate the conversation as well. I think about a year back, I made a post on this. So I have this, I'm kind of obsessed about this, and the reason is, when I was job searching, I know that it's kind of awkward, LinkedIn is a different platform. I mean, we think, just give connect and message them when help is required. That is the usual concept, So that is the concept, at least that I had when I was job searching. So I did not stand up for random conversations. I would never message someone unless I needed someone. That was my mindset back then, which I realize is completely wrong right now. So now what I do is, I know that the job seeker on the other side doesn't know what to actually do. They're just connecting because they saw my profile interesting. So what I do is, every week, once a week, I send a message to all my connections, all my new connections who did not initiate a conversation with me. And it's at least 50 people a week. So I send a message to 50 people a week, and some people just ignore it. They don't respond. Some people just put this smiley. I'm like, I typed down this big paragraph and they put this thing. I'm like, what? Can't you spend an additional minute over there? But some conversations actually evolve out of it. It actually happens. Good conversations come out of it. So what I do is, I try to educate everyone. Hey, this is what you have to do. Don't go silent. And that's what everyone in this room, in this meeting, in this event, for example, better. So if someone does that to you, try and educate. 90% of the people won't like when you're giving advice, because they're not there for advice. They're there for a job. But do your bit and, try and help others. And in return, just like Maldi said, she got a different perspective on how to, get into details or poke or ask the right question rather. So that's a skill that you earn by doing this process. So thanks for sharing that, Maldi. That was a really good perspective on, what you can do on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Ashika, go ahead.
Yeah. So like it's the same thing like what I'm doing, like Malati, like she's and like what I'm doing is, if someone is sending me like a random request, I just send back saying that thanks for connecting with me, then simply hi, how are you? And just starts with random conversations. So like for the past 1 week, I guess so, like since I was posting things, I got messages saying back to me like, yeah, I know you, I see you posting things, I like the thing what you're doing. I felt like something very big thing happened. Really, honestly, today when I called a recruiter, I just sent him my resume, and the very next moment I called him. He said, "Yeah, I just said my name." He said, "Yeah, I remember. Like you have been
Brilliant.
posting things." I felt like I got something very much gold medal in the universe. It was like that. So yeah, so same thing like when I connect with people, even if it's random people, just send them simply hi, how are you? Or like something you might find something interesting in their profile that you could ask with. So you could just pop up with a conversation. There is nothing technical or very big thing that you need, just simple hi, how are you? Even that can pop up a conversation.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Thanks for
that's right.
sharing that, Shika, and you get the point here. When you generate content, people come to you rather than you needing to pick up the phone and making 100 calls or how much ever that is required. And it's hard. That's really hard, right? So it's very important that you do something extra. For example, Shika has been, I think putting up posts on LinkedIn for some time now, and she's getting that attention. Srishti shared a similar story. She put a post last week, and till last week she did 0 online catch-ups, and now she's kind of booked till next week, right? So when you do something not out of the box, this is not rocket science, right? You just have to make a post. For example, what Srishti posted is her inhibition on having an online catch-up, how awkward it was, and then how it changed when she just had 2 video chats, and then it kind of completely shifted, her perspective towards video calls. So just share stories like that. And for example, if you're not sure what to share tomorrow, you had this conversation today. What did you feel? How did you feel about this? I mean, what did you learn about this conversation that we had? And it's just a fun 30-minute thing. There's nothing at all about this, right? But you are doing something here, and you are having some fun over here. So share that on LinkedIn or whatever your platform is. If you want to go on a non-professional platform like Instagram, Facebook, or even TikTok for that matter these days. I don't know what's in there, but people say it's a next big thing. Do it. Go ahead and share that story. Otherwise, you're keeping the knowledge you learned for yourself, and I call that being selfish. I know that's a bit too far-fetched, but kind of selfish that you're keeping that knowledge with you and not sharing with a third person. And by sharing, I don't mean, go all over social media and share. No. Have you can share it to a friend that you have a conversation with, especially if I'm assuming most of you are migrants here in Australia. You need to have that connection. You need to have that social perspective of what's happening over here. You need to build that connection. And unless you give, you're not going to get. Right, so that's very important. So I think I read some chat over here. Bye. Okay, I think Naishad left, so I think it's bye. So Sachin said, I'm a passive person in social media. Can I get tips to improve it? Where to start? Write a post about how you felt about this meeting today or tomorrow on LinkedIn, for example. That's what I say is the easiest thing to start over here. Just write what your experience was like. What are the couple of things that you learned, and write it with an intent to share that message. Don't write it for the sake of it. I think I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and they said, hey, I go for a coffee catch-up. Should I take a selfie of that person, selfie with that person, and post it on social media? Does that add any value to anyone? Does that add any value? I'm bringing that question back to you.
Until you share your experience, what you felt and what you learned from that person. I don't think so. Just putting up a selfie would mean anything, especially on LinkedIn.
Yeah, just putting up a selfie doesn't add any value to it. Rather, by the way, before putting up a selfie, make sure that you ask the permission of that person, and before sharing the story, make sure that you ask the permission of that person. Instead, you share the experience that you had with that person. You had a wonderful chat. I learned X, Y, Z. What this does is you're sharing the knowledge you just received to someone else. Plus, you're kind of boosting the confidence of the person you met as well. So it's a win-win for everyone over here. Make sure that that person is comfortable with that. Check with that person. Otherwise, that person, I trusted you. I shared this information with you, and now you're sharing with the world. Don't get into that situation. So sharing your stories, sharing what's happening, sharing your experience, sharing your journey. That's very important. I think someone took a certification recently. Was it Wasim, I think? You shared a certification on LinkedIn. So what I recommend there is, instead of blankly, sharing a certification, hey, finally I completed this. Instead of doing that, share information about how you went about the certification. What struggles did you have? What challenges did you have? And what did you do to get, complete it? So that what happens is, yes, you're sharing your win, and in addition to that, you're giving something back to the community, and people will like it. People will start following you for that, right? So it's always important that, yes, you're trying to market yourself, but have something for someone else as well. For example, if you read my post, even though I'm trying to, bring people to my meetups or my catch-ups or whatever it is, the beginning or at least the first 3 quarters would be about how this has changed lives or how this is impacting everyone or how this can bring a change to you. Only then I'll come to the what is this about part, right? So that is where you bring the whole context and stitch everything together. Naishad, go ahead. You can suggest a resource. I think Naishad wants to suggest some resource.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone. Just quickly, there is a resource on internet called answerthepublic.com.
Yep.
So if you go in that answerthepublic.com and put the vocation that you are part of, whether that's civil engineering, testing, whatever, and then it will throw so many questions or so many things that people are searching for that particular vocation or that particular keyword that you can write at least until you retire. Something on that every day, and that's how I recommend. Secondly, is that I completely like the idea of writing things. Just as Vinesh said, just simple as how did you experience today? What did you learn today? One of the things to remember is that social media will reward people for their consistency. If you write a fantastic article or very insightful blog on your vocation, and then you disappear for 3.5 months and come back, most of the people forgot about you. So it's good that you start to write about things. Having said that, you must put some time into when you're writing it. Make 3-4 different things and just keep it on the back burner. Let it roast, and when it is roasted fully, then you can bring it out for dinner. I think it is important because otherwise people will not people will feel that that's just a spark, that's just a, what do we say, just one day wonders, like what we have seen in a lot of movies. So that's a suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah, that's absolutely golden advice, Naishad. And that's very important, being consistent. And this is a challenge for you, Srishti. I know you made a post a few months back and then nothing. And then yesterday, last week, you made a post again. Make sure you post something again and continue having that consistency so that, people keep coming back to you. And this is applicable to everyone. The way I do it is I kind of post 2 to 3 times every week. You don't have to be that frequent, at least post once a week to start with. And then, just like Naishad said, don't put everything that you have in your head into that post. Split it into maybe 3 posts and post it every week so that you have content for every week over there. This is just in case if you don't have much content to post, So these are various things that you can do. And it's very important. Consistency is very important. Only then people will continue seeing you. For example, what Naishad is doing with his LinkedIn lives, he does it every day, 3 p.m. Melbourne time. Everyone knows 3 p.m. Hey, Naishad will do this, right? So we automatically get drawn to it and automatically know that there's something. And one day if Naishad doesn't do it, we're like, okay, what's happening? What has happened to Naishad? We'll get connected to him in that way. So these are the things that it's very important. I just read a comment on our LinkedIn Live, so I just wanted to read it out. This is by Eric Sami. He said, great advice, Vinesh. I specialize in Salesforce and IT development recruitment. It's been a bit slow recently. However, there are still things going on. Feel free to reach out. Gotta run and keep smashing it. So again, if any one of you are in that domain, reach out to him. Eric is an awesome guy. I met him once before. He used to work in JDP, and he's an awesome person. Go and have a conversation with him if you are looking out. That was fun. No, everyone is sleeping. This is what I say. If I don't get a response, that means everyone is sleeping or everyone is opening a new Facebook tab or an Instagram tab and scrolling on that, not listening to me. But thanks for being a part of this. This was fun. I have to go back and look at how the LinkedIn Live worked out. This is my first try on LinkedIn Live. Hopefully it worked out well. there's another event coming up Thursday evening. This is more into personal branding. It's a part of UV 2.0. What's the weekly catch-ups that I'm doing with. We have Maria Radish this time. She'll be talking about how networking helped her transform her personal brand and how it can help you unravel what you are and build a personal brand around this. So if you're interested, please be a part of it. It will also be, provided that this LinkedIn Live work properly, it will also be a part of LinkedIn Live and it will go live on Facebook and YouTube as well. Before we leave, can we have a selfie, please? A virtual selfie. No one is interested.
Yes.
So people who have their video off, I'd appreciate if you can turn on for a minute. Nidhi and Sachin, if you can, only if you can, no pressure. I mean, the other day I was having a discussion on someone, and the half the people said over there that it's not okay to take a selfie. So I'm not forcing anyone, but if you can, go for it. So I'll just take a screenshot. So on 3, yeah.
Full name of Eric.
Eric Sami, SAMI.
Thank you.
I think you should see the chat on LinkedIn Live, and you can probably look it up.
All right.
So on 3, please smile, and I'll take a screenshot. 1, 2, 3. All right, I got it. Thanks for being a part of this. So I'll continue having this even probably twice a week. So we'll have this on this Saturday as well. And Thursday I'll have the other meetup. So if you're happy to join, if you would like to join it,